Hello there, Site 42 staff, as well as those of you from the greater SCP Foundation. And welcome to another, well, Ginger Ale Break with Dr. Sherman, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site 42. As always, I am Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director here at Site 42 of the SCP Foundation. And as I have done for the last year plus and counting, because the daily stream streak still remains strong, I'm here to open my office doors to you, the SCP Foundation staff, to answer your burning questions about this dark and mysterious place of employment we call the SCP Foundation. So whether you have questions about the anomalies we contain, the staff who contain them, the groups of interest who try to stop us from containing them, or hypothetical containment procedures about anomalies that fall outside of the SCP Foundation's purview, perhaps they're from a different multiverse or pataphysical narrative level, i.e. fandom. Either way, we are here for the next 30 minutes to 1 hour, probably, for today's briefing. But before I begin the stream subject, allow me to handle a little bit of housekeeping. First and foremost, CD23, congratulations on being the #1 most punctual member of today's Containment Hazard Assessment team, i.e., congratulations on being first chatter. Meanwhile, alongside you, Amber, Dr. Wesker, Titanborn, Legendary Doge, Silent Follower, TW Gamers, Chesta Factory, Zeerdrin, Froy, Blue Phantom, right at the last second to be called out. Thank you all for being here punctually, and thank you for being here as members of Site 42 on YouTube. We appreciate your membership and your service. Furthermore, 953, Lanny the Demon Angel, Saul Martin, Echoes of the Past, Dexrays, Bendy, and Logitech. Welcome to today's stream. Thank you for being here punctually, and thank you for being here today just for being you. Now, what is a ginger ale break, some of you have asked? Well, it's when, as we discovered after doing a little bit of research on my surprise illness yesterday, which did not turn out to be COVID, did not turn out to be a flu, did not turn out to be any sort of viral infection, mimetic infection, cognitohazard, infohazard, etc. Now, it turns out that the meatloaf special, Mama's Magical Meatloaf, as made in the commissary yesterday, was accidentally using ingredients that were frozen test subject remnants from SCP-666.5-J. Codename The Roaring Fires of Hell. Suffice it to say, that commissary worker has been sacked. And by sacked, I mean fed their own meal until consequences occurred. Best of luck to them. Suffice it to say, I am feeling much better after a tumultuous evening, and we don't ever have to speak of this again. Just confirming, SCP-666.5-A is codename the Roaring Flames of Hell. I was correct in my assessment. Very good. Now, moving on to much happier subjects. A reminder that today's stream is sponsored by the Dr. Sherman Site Director Edition plushie. You have 8 days remaining to grab one. You can go to the link in the description. You can go to the link pinned in the chat. You have 8 days remaining, and then they are gone forever. Thank you to our friends at the scpstore.org and Plush Foundry for helping us to manufacture this little guy. Now, Zerdrin, thank you for your 33 months as a level 1 researcher here at Site 42. You are almost to your 3-year anniversary, much longer than a lot of level 1 researchers make it here at the Foundation. So good on ya. Logitech F710, thank you for sending 20 gold coins to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am certain that the chat will spend those doubloons wisely. Blue Phantom, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself anything except the meatloaf on your way past the commissary. What is the anti-Semitic decision? Wait, I forgot what I was asking. Never mind. How's your day? And Charlie, wait, there's no anti-Semitic Sorry, autocorrect got me anti-memetics division. That's what I thought. Autocorrect of the year. Amazing. Blue Phantom. Yes. I don't know what you're talking about, an anti-memetics division. That's not a thing we have at the Foundation, to my knowledge. But, no, we also don't have an anti-Semitic division. That is the RPC Authority. They are several doors down. We don't like those guys because of their anti-Semitic division. All right. So, today's stream subject. Today, we are continuing our tour of the recently wrapped This Is My JAMCON. This Is My JAMCON, unless if you've missed the previous streams, is an unofficial SCP Foundation Wiki contest in which SCP authors traded song recommendations and then wrote songs based on those, or wrote SCP articles based on those song recs. And so now, today, we are looking at SCP-8353 by SCP author Latova. Codename Stargazer with a period. I wonder if that's relevant in some way. But we are going to read the SCP-8353 documentation, discuss it, and then we will move on to general Q&A for the rest of the stream. Item number SCP-8353, Containment Class Troy. Containment Class Troy. What does that mean? That's a esoteric class if I've ever heard one. And by the way, that picture that you saw in the documentation was a fragment of SCP-8353 ruins. So, special containment procedures. As the United States Armed Forces have withdrawn from the Republic of the Niger, the containment procedures of 8353 have been suspended. Due to the recent developments surrounding the anomaly, chances of rediscovery are considered low. Description. First brought into the attention of the SCP Foundation in 2018 after reports of urban legends picked up from a local translator by U.S. personnel stationed in the Republic of the Niger as part of Operation Juniper Shield. 8353 was contained on the 21st of February 2019 by Investigative Team 2 of the SCP Paranormal Activity Response Corps, following a month-long investigation. The description of the location was provided by Sadiq Gado, the source of the urban legend. This is a quote from the Sadiq Gado. My mother taught that even the Almighty has a blind spot. He gave us free will, and he allowed us to do bad if we chose so. In the same way, God allowed there to be places outside of his domain by his choice. That place, the Harakan, footnote, name used by the locals for SCP-8353, its etymology is unknown. It's such a place where, without Allah, all of the shaitans have made their home. They live in houses more ancient than any other and pray at a temple to what only they know, covered in icons and writing that hurt even to look at. I've heard stories of people who stepped in it, who emerge with their minds broken and their eyes fixed at the skies, screaming heresies I won't repeat. Me? I never thought about going in there, not once in my life. I don't know where it is, and you should not look for it. Wow. That reads very much like the kind of writings you see on the Parawatch Wiki group of interest. If you're unfamiliar, the Parawatch Wiki is very urban legend, creepypasta-centric SCP Foundation content. Good stuff. But continuing on. SCP-8353 are the ruins of a settlement dated to 1550 BC, located east of the town of Enatis, Niger. The majority of the architecture in SCP-8353 is utilitarian in nature and bears resemblance to other ruins discovered in the region, although traces of Greek influence have been noted. The ruins consist of multiple minor structures, presumed to be housing, surrounding a singular circular building containing highly damaged wall carvings, accompanied by an unknown script provisionally named Hakuranian. A pedestal was present in the middle of the structure. Although no anomalous phenomena have been provably recorded to take place within 8353, the object has come into the purview of the Foundation due to the number of paranormal experiences reported in its vicinity by both civilian and military personnel over the years. Addendum 8353.1 Selected Paranormal Experience Reports. Okay, and from here on, we're getting a series of interview paragraphs from people who have visited the anomaly. Starting with Usman Ibrahim. We went near Hakaran all the time as kids. We never told our parents. We knew they would hate it. They told us it was infested with jinn, that children go missing there. All sorts of stories. But we loved playing in it. We'd pretend the carvings, the ones with many eyes especially, were monsters, and we would fight them with stones and sticks. But we never went in the middle. To us, we were perfectly safe everywhere there, except the center. That was where all the jinns and shaitans, I'm going with shaitans, were, of course. Everywhere else was safe to us. Whenever anyone got close to it, they would just feel this, I can't really find the word. It was like a sandstorm was coming in your direction, or like a wild animal was chasing you. We always thought there was an oasis there. That's what the carving showed. I fell in there once when we were playing, and all I saw was sand and some rock in the center. But I got so scared, I couldn't get up and just yelled for the other kids to come help me while staring at the ground. They did run up to me, and just as they were helping me out, one of them looked up. They all scattered, scared. No one told me what they saw, and we never played there again. Okay, so don't look up, don't look at the moon, Local 58, Gemini Home Entertainment, don't look at the sky, don't look outside, all those different games like that. I see it. Name of the next report, Awa Solake. My husband was a good man. whenever the store ran out of sachets. Footnote. Plastic pouches containing alcohol, popular in West Africa. So my husband was a good man whenever he wasn't drinking. But when he had them, he turned into a whole different man. He would break down into these rants and stories, told me how that rubble east of the town took his brother. I only heard him talk about his brother when he was drunk, about how bright and sweet and dumb he was. He told me how he could, quote, still see him stretch, whatever that meant, and would scream at the sky as if it insulted him. One night he drank too much, way too much. He stole our neighbor's hammer and started running, much too fast for me to catch up. He was yelling about how he's going to deface Quran and that he was doing it for his brother. He never came back home. Next comes from, now people are being stretched to the sky, I think. Don't we have an SCP about that? People being stretched toward the sky? I think that was in one of the anthologies. By the way, did you guys hear we're not having an anthology this year? Tangent. Shaggy just shared this on Twitter. Shaggy Dreadlocks, who often runs the anthologies and or the author of When Day Breaks. Let me find the tweet. Regarding this year's anthology, tweeted May 3rd. I wanted to wait until August to announce this, but my hand has been forced. We are not going to be holding an October anthology this year. Due to some feedback, I wanted to give the month a break so it is not occupied as it has been the past 4 years. This will also allow more space for the upcoming Creepypasta contest running this October. It has not been canceled, however. Instead, this year's anthology will be held over the month of December. Which, honestly, I like anthology being an end-of-year event, so I think that's fun. So I was wrong to say it's canceled. It's been postponed. It has not been canceled, however. Instead, this year's anthology will be held over the month of December. With the recent revelation that the main list is nearing capacity, 450 open spaces remaining. So right now, we only have 450 article slots left in the 9,000s. Are you kidding me? And the knowledge that the next series is opening will not occur until 2027, it has occurred to me that there could be a situation where there is not enough main list slots open to host Anthology this December. Which means that it's possible it will be pushed into 2027 because we have not enough slots to hold an Anthology. Because, guys, we only have 450 slots left, and it's May. We still have more than half a year left. So seriously, I can understand how Anthology, which is normally 30 to 31 articles, that's going to be rough. That's going to be almost 10% of the remaining slots. And in fact, if it's in October or December, that's going to be more than, that's going to be 20 to 30% of remaining slots, depending on how many are written. Damn soon I'm going to have to say to my friends we have 10,000 articles instead of close to 10,000. Well, Froey, remember, if you check the tags, and you check the tag for SCP, there are already 10,300 something SCPs. We are already 10K plus, because then you're counting all of the 001 proposals, which are tagged as SCPs. I think EXs or other ones count as SCPs. So yes, we already have more than 10,000 SCP articles tagged as SCP on the database. Okay, but that is the site news. So you come to me for site news, here you go. All right, back to the original subject. I know, I got distracted, and now you're here too, Puppy of Interest 42. You were being so good, waiting for me to finish my stream subject before you came over and invaded for treats. But then I got distracted as a tangent, so you took that as your opportunity. Excellent work, Puppy of Interest 42, codename Charlie, for your very good behavior. The chat has granted you this delicious treat. And in fact, since you are the sweetest pumpkin here at Site 42, and you were so patient, chat will give you 2 treats. Puppy of Interest 42, codename Charlie, says thank you, chat, for the delightful treats. And now she will away! All right. Let us finish SCP-8353, and then we will get to general Q&A. I know there's a couple donations that are waiting for me. Those will be gotten as soon as we're done with the SCP article as well. I won't miss them, promise. Okay. The next testimony is from a Jonathan Watson. Think it was the second day they told me to guard that pile of rubble. Still have no idea why. Even that shitty village next to it would have more tactical use. Whatever. I know that place. I know it gave me the chills. Felt like I was going to get ambushed every second I was there. Even jumped when I heard the wind blow slightly faster. The sky from it. The sky there looked weird, I tell you. You look at a star, and it started drifting. Like it was a expletive removed plane. I thought I was seeing things. But then I looked up, and nah. They all suddenly moved, like all at once. I reported it to command, but they thought I was making it up. Oh, and the expletive removed kept yelling something at us whenever they walked near. No idea what, but they were real angry. Maybe they were worshipping this whatever is there? Dunno. You are correct, Puppet Boy. Sky is hella haunted. Final testimony comes from a Richard Owens. Being deployed there was a strange experience. It was the first time I was at a mission when nothing that weird happened. No monsters running around and jumping into asses. No phantom planes. Was this written by the Butt Monster author? Are you referencing the Butt Monster right now? Really? Still, I constantly felt this pressure there. I don't mean physical pressure. Mental pressure. As if I was just expected to do something I knew nothing about. It made me lose control over myself once. I could tell Jeremy felt it too, but he swears he didn't. It was drawing me to that pedestal in the middle. It was constant, but it got worse whenever I looked at the sky. I even did step on it once, and then I don't remember what happened. Anything between me stepping on it and falling face first in the sand is blank. But I know my heart was racing, and I felt like a sheep getting chased by a predator. I'm glad they rotated me out the next day. Now we're going back to the document for a little more time. In addition, various minor phenomena have been alleged to occur by Foundation personnel stationed in SCP-8353. These include unexplainable feeling of being watched, unexplainable feeling of dread, sightings of aerial anomalous phenomena, in particular slow-moving bright objects in the night sky, sightings of short-term changes in celestial constellations, sudden onset of astrophobia, sudden desire to gaze upwards, sudden sensation of being pulled upwards without any movement actually occurring, described as being similar to an out-of-body experience, minor changes in height, intrusive thoughts relating to gazing upwards. Addendum 8353-2, current status. After the withdrawal of U.S. assets from the Republic of the Niger and the capture of multiple weapon caches left by the U.S. troops, a jihadist offensive in the region has led 8353 to be captured by local militias. Aerial photographs suggest extensive damage has been sustained by at least half of 8353, including the central structure. Recovery of significant parts of 8353 is considered unlikely. So Latova has written this as a Series 0 in the tags. Good to know. Furthermore, The discussion, the author post. I'm doing my best to post again. Oh, I feel that, author Latova. I think my last SCP I wrote was like 5 years ago. Written as part of This Is My JAMCON and inspired by the song Stargazer by the band Rainbow, which I did not know that song. Again, you SCP authors are picking very obscure songs. I can't guess your songs if you don't properly pick ones that I know. Feels like you're cheating. I originally had more lore explicitly stated and tie further into the song, but I decided to make it more mysterious. Inspired by the Voynich manuscript, Indus River Valley civilization, Easter Island script, and other historical mysteries that we'll probably never know the answers to. Well, overall, I gotta say, once again, just like the previous article, I think it's a short and sweet article with a very nice little mystery. I think it's funny that this theme right now of looking up at the celestial bodies, aliens, abductions, the moon's haunted, space is haunted, all that. It's a theme these days. But overall, I am giving SCP-8353 the seal of approval of my update. If you enjoyed this article, make sure you go to the page on the wiki if you're a wiki member and give it your update. I guess if you didn't like it, you can downvote as well. That is well within your rights. Also, because of the changes in height anomaly, I have a joke SCP in mind where this becomes well known within the look-smacking chud community, and it becomes a holy site for look-smaxers to go and stand on the center pedestal and get stretched because they're height maxing. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. Yes, you do hear a kitty. Intern Rar caution. Agent Charlemagne is visiting from a distance here. Let me see if Agent Charlemagne will overcome his shyness for a treat. Did not approve of treat. Came over to say hi. Did not want the treat. Okay, you're not hungry. It's fine. It was still nice for chat to see you. Intern Dairy Duke. Welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. What do you think about people trying to smash SCP-1471? Intern Madi, I do not approve of anybody trying to destroy anomalies in any method, whether it be by gunfire, explosives, blunt force trauma, sharp force trauma. However you wanted to destroy anomalies, I do not approve of it. Please do not smash, stab, burn, or anything to anomalies in containment. All right, I am returning to the chat. In which case, I will read the donations and such that came in during the stream subject, and then we'll have general Q&A for a bit. Intern Kangame, thank you for your first donation of today's stream. Grab yourself an extra large pizza on your way past the commissary. L4 here with the O5 files with permission. Nathaniel here is the RAF pilot we picked up from a plane crash. The CI stage with him as the scapegoat. What's interesting is his cargo. Several other items missing from the plane. Well, what items? Are they anomalous items? What is staging? The Chaos Insurgency is staging a plane crash with a Royal Air Force pilot? To what end? Puppet Boy, thank you for your 10 months as a Level 1 researcher here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service. I'm getting clef build. Do not save me. Well, of the obnoxious SCP doctors, Clef is one of the more preferable ones, so I will not stop you. Amber, thank you for sending a floating heart to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they feel the love. TW Gamers, thank you for your 3 months as a level 1 researcher here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service. Got Class E'd a few days ago. Turns out I was fine. It is. Oh, before I reply to that, Dr. Intern Smith, thank you for sending a child breaker to the chat. I do not know why you felt the need to send a child breaker to the chat. I certainly hope that there are no children in the chat to be broken by the child breaker. Are we back? Roger that, roger that. What's the last thing I said? Dr. Sherman, in the world of the SCP Foundation, how are anomalies even created or born? Or is it a natural thing, or is someone creating them? Intern writer. Everything, all of the above. There are anomalies that are created by people on purpose, where they are actively inventing anomalies, which is very frustrating. They're the ones that make me maddest, because at least some of these anomalies exist in nature, and that can't be helped, and we can just contain them. But some of them are literally like Dr. Wondertainment making anomalous toys, Dado making anomalous parapharmacological drugs, Anderson Robotics making anomalous tech, Prometheus Labs making anomalous tech. We have a lot of anomalous tech people. But suffice it to say, there's natural anomalies, there's ones that are made, there's the old someone feels an emotion so deeply that it turns them anomalous or something. Those ones are typically pretty nasty. I'm trying to remember the one that's an abuse metaphor, where if you iron the clothes, then it's like you're abusing the ghosts of the people who wore them. SCP-7506, codename Ironing Out the Creases, object class safe. It is kept in a standard containment locker. Description: an electric steam iron. Oh yeah, content warning for domestic abuse and murder. Electric steam iron manufactured in the 1960s. The sole plate is heavily dented and covered in various burn marks. While 7506 is plugged in and switched on, contact between its sole plate and any clothing will cause an audible scream to vocalize from the latter while the contact is maintained. The screams will match that of a human, varying in tone and pitch depending on the intended body type the clothing was designed for. If you iron an adult man's tailored shirt, you get a deep-pitched scream, similar to that of an adult male. An adult woman's polka dot sundress, a high-pitched scream, similar to an adult female. A boy's plain white t-shirt, a high-pitched scream, masculine undertones. A young girl's shirt, high-pitched feminine scream. A white lab coat, note this belonged to head researcher Dr. Miles. A low-pitched scream, voice identical to Dr. Miles. A young boy's shirt heavily torn, recovered from the original location of SCP-7506, a high-pitched scream. The same torn shirt from the previous test, Note, contact between 7506 and the garment lasted longer than in previous tests, so we held the iron down. Screams remain unchanged for the first 30 seconds. Vocalizations gradually became quieter over the next 3 minutes, until ceasing completely. Only infrequent, hushed murmuring would occur until the test's conclusion. This is getting pretty yeesh. Item, a teenage girl's yellow sweater with burn marks matching 7506's soul plate present on the back left shoulder area. Resulting vocalization. High-pitched screams between stretches of heavy breathing. Vocalizations were slightly muffled, as if emanating through clenched teeth. Item, a man's gray-tailored suit, immaculately kept. Resulting vocalization was audible murmuring, barely noticeable. And finally, a woman's blue dress covered in multiple stitchings from repairs. Vocalization, silence. That is where oof, the oof article 7506. Content warning section complete. All right, returning to the chat. Logitech, thank you for sending 8 golden coins to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they feel very happy with what they will purchase with those doubloons. SFA, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some tacos on your way past the commissary. Is it normal to teleport about 10 meters in a random direction every time I sneeze? A. Do you think that's normal? Is that a normal thing that happens to other people you know? Is it happening to you? Does that feel normal to you? Yes? No? I think the answer is no. I think the answer to that question is no. I think you know that, though. I think you know better. A sneezing desk is normal. Well, Intern Smith, as normal as a talking desk is. Same level of normalcy. Do you do jump scares? Intern Terrible. I would say maybe one time in the last year of daily streams did we actually do a jump scare of any sort. Typically, we are more having standard briefings. What's up with that hair? Well, Intern Bob, doesn't it look pretty dope? Aren't the colors pleasing to the eye, appealing? I like to think so. You look a lot better today. I do feel a lot better today, Intern Alien Mint. I do feel a lot better today. There was a ton of jump scares on the April 1st stream. Ah, yes, I missed the briefing that day. Apparently you guys saw some other broadcast. But yes, apparently April 1st did have some jump scares. I'm unfamiliar with the content. Dr. Sherman, I am preparing to go do research at a local Ren fair for the Mythology and Folkloristics department. Are there any SCPs I should keep an eye out for? Intern Lil Ghost, the most likely anomaly you are to find at a Renaissance fair would be the nameless folk who live in the woods that also has no name. And so you should be very wary of accepting gifts, of trading names and the like at that location, because several of those anomalies will be present. You might also find a litany of anomalies that the temporal anomalies division would be interested in. Very often, all sorts of timey-wimey bastards end up showing up to Renaissance fairs. Dr. Sherman, I've got an important question. How come there are only a couple gaming console SCPs? You expect there to be like a lot more. Well, really, you're only going to get gaming console SCPs from those who make anomalous toys or robotics. So Anderson Robotics, Dr. Wondertainment. The most likely is going to be the group of interest Arcadia. Arcadia, of course, would make anomalous video games. And so looking into the... we're having a lot of lag issues today, unfortunately. But yes, to whichever intern brought that up, I would look into the group of interest Arcadia to see if you can find some more. It also makes me wonder if there is a video game tag. Video, no, that's video alone. Game. So let me find one of the anomalous video game consoles first. $591 refers to a line of video game consoles developed as a counterfeit of the Nintendo Entertainment System. Dr. Wondertainment Pretendo. So yes, it's going to go into the electronic tag and the toy tag at the same time. TW Gamers, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself a souffle on your way past the commissary. Honestly, I haven't been Class E'd in a while, but you go to the site cafeteria one day for some lunch, the next thing you know, you're quarantined. That was me yesterday. What? I'm confused. Are you me from the past? Or the future? Or the past? This sounds like some temporal shenanigans. Wait, SCP guy? Intern Radish, yes, SCP guy. The SCP Foundation is here for your daily briefing, of which we have about 15 minutes remaining. Adorable Mutant Bat, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some Pocky on your way past the commissary. Chroma Stone versus Shy Guy, who wins in your opinion? Well, I would need to know what a Chroma Stone is. Ben 10 anomalous entity. Crystal Sapien. Humanoid silicon-based alien, extremely durable crystal. Produce rainbow-colored energy from inside body. Expel it out as powerful beams from either hand, shards on body or eye. Limited extent, will run out of energy until absorbing more. Beams are powerful enough to melt through a truck trailer, destroy a turret. Dynakinesis, allowing to control the direction of energy with extreme precision. Corrupt and manipulate external sources of energy, such as mana. So controls energy. That has nothing to do with 096, except for trying to use lasers to burn 096. Capable of instant levitation and flight. Yeah, but SCP-096 has that squat booty being able to run so fast, so it can jump pretty damn high. Trapping enemies in crystals through energy beams. I mean, I don't know. Okay. Incapable of absorbing certain types of energy. Limit how much energy can be absorbed at once. To my best guess here, it looks like my only question is how durable is this seeming armor that the anomaly wears? Because if 096 can just beat on it long enough that it runs out of energy, enhanced durability thanks to very dense and crystalline skin can be withstand being thrown against several vehicles at once. I'm just wondering how much it can take, because 096 is intensely durable. I would have to see this Chroma Stone in action to really tell. But just based on the flying and the lasers, I believe the Chroma Stone could probably evade 096 or trap it in a stone statue of some sort, able to possibly hold it down. I would need to do more research on that, but I think I'm kind of giving a minor edge towards Chroma Stone in the matchup. Have you ever made your own SCP? Intern Orderly, yes, I have. And in fact, you can go to my author page on the SCP database, the Sherm's author page and Site 42 Hub, to see the SCPs I personally wrote. SCP Secret Equine People. Creepypasta George Harrison, are you talking about a specific anomaly where they are horses? Horse people? Because I'm familiar with Ulysses B. Donkman, who appears to be human, but is also actually a donkey. Ulysses, oh no, let me get Ulysses's article, 4768. So photos show Ulysses B. Donkman as the entity is, but if you look at Ulysses B. Donkman in person, it looks like an average human. So it's very tricky in that way. Furthermore, there is the SCP Sic Semper Tyrannosaurus. Tyrannosaurus. And that SCP-6861, is our discovering that Abraham Lincoln was actually secretly a cognitohazardous Tyrannosaurus Rex. And Abraham Lincoln was just walking around a dinosaur that everyone perceived as a human. And John Wilkes Booth was a secret Spinosaurus. So yes, SCP-6861 is also secret dinosaur people. But Creepypasta George Harrison, you're saying that you were just making up stuff for those horse people. Cool. Well, now you know about SCP-4768, the secret donkey person, and SCP-6861, the two secret dinosaur people. Oh, Desk, thank you for doing a little extra research on the chromastone entity. This Cthulhu-looking son of a gun managed to shatter the chromastone with a sword. And so the question is only the strength and durability of the chromastone versus the sword and the person wielding it. But 096 is pretty tough and very scratchety. I mean, it's more rip and tear than it is a hard, blunt impact. So it just depends on how hard 096 could... okay, that might have evened the odds a little bit. Very impressive, good to know. SCP-096 can rip through titanium. It's so strong. SCP-096 ripping through titanium is not that impressive a feat. It is, while powerful for its weight, not actually that strong. Get your SCP-022-J-1 mahogany ass out of my power scaling with that titanium bullshit. Yes, you are correct, Chester Factory. The likes are currently over the view count. And so since you guys have hit that like button so much, Containment Hazard Assessment Team, you have made the YouTube algorithm deign to bring us more viewers. And they will be like our previous friend in the chat who will say, oh, wait, SCP guy on YouTube? And I can be like, yes, you found us. Welcome to SCP YouTube. Hang out a while. There's me and there's a bunch of other good SCP content creators. You can hang out and talk about the joys and follies of the SCP Foundation. And so thank you very much, Site 42 Containment Hazard Assessment Team, for hitting that dang like button and bringing glory to the Foundation. Dr. Sherman, I have an idea on how to punish traitors' staff. Why don't we just trap them in the SCP-093 dimension? Good idea, right? Honestly, Intern Writer, we have better ways for traitorous staff punishment. Because when you send them into 093 dimensions, any of them, you are risking that they might find the doorway out. You are risking that they'll survive. You're doing the supervillain problem. You're just hoping that while you're not watching, they get what's coming to them. No. You see, we can do better than that. For instance, the femur breaker. Good for recontaining SCP-106. Also, good to watch the pain happen in real time. Bring your popcorn. Furthermore, we can not throw them into a dimension like that. We can instead demote them to D class. That way, we can put them in all sorts of danger and also get useful research out of them. Useful research, isn't that what we're all about at the Foundation? Of course it is. And so Class D, well, that's a better way to deal with traitorous people. But furthermore, I can go even further. SCP UK envelope. This one's a little harder for me to find, but it's a pretty darn good anomaly, so I want to tell you guys about it. While I'm having trouble finding this particular anomaly, I'm going to tell you about it, and maybe you all can help me crowdsource finding this ding-dang thing. So I know that this takes place in Great Britain / UK. I don't know which term they use in the document, but it is the UK / Great Britain branch of the SCP Foundation. They have some sort of room that if you lock a person into the room, it erases that person from existence and drops a letter telling the truth of something you were asking them about or something like that. And so we keep putting people into the room when we think they're traitors so that we can find the truth of the situation. What is the room where we disappear people in Britain? "5562! 5562! Okay, here we go. I'm going to read this because it's a shorty and it's a fun one. So, SCP-5562, codename the Shrewsbury Key. The Shrewsbury Key. Object class Radix, which is, as a footnote, object has been incorporated into the Foundation's command structure, but is unrelated to Judaism. Because, you know, Keter is part of the Judaism stuff. Special containment procedures. 5562 is stored in containment chamber 12 at Site 26. Foundation knowledge of the existence of 5562 is not to be disclosed to the British Occult Service. Use of 5562 requires the approval of Site 26 Director of Overseer Command. The input of the Ethics Committee is to be disregarded. Forget about the Ethics Committee, guys. We're not listening to those nerds. Description. SCP-5562 is a large metal cube measuring 3 meters tall, discovered beneath the town hall of Shrewsbury, Shropshire, England. 5562 has one entrance, which can only be opened by an adult British citizen. How 5562 verifies this is unknown. A brass plaque located on the right of the entrance reads, "Property of the Directorate of Military Intelligence, Sections 13 and 19. Footnote for Section 13, precursor of the British Occult Services during the First and Second World Wars. And Section 19, responsible for the interrogation of captured enemy soldiers during the Second World War." A slot is located beneath this plaque. Opening the entrance will result in the entrance automatically closing after a period of 20 seconds. Following this, the entrance will be unable to be opened for 50 seconds. Should an object have been present within 5562, an envelope will be deposited from the slot. This envelope will contain all secret information contained within the inputted object. No inputted objects have been present upon reopening 5562. Test 1. Footnote. Accidental. Agent Tate became trapped within 5562 during initial discovery. Input. Agent Sarah Tate. Output. Agent Tate's bank details and passwords to her computer and email. Results. 5562 taken into Foundation custody for testing of any anomalous properties. Test 3. The full text of The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien, encrypted using a Foundation one-time pad. Output. The decrypted text of The Hobbit. Results. Anomalous capabilities of 5562 have been confirmed, and also useful for decrypting ciphers. Test 26. An intercepted message from Oriya Outpost 12 to Tehran headquarters. Now remember, Oriya is the Office for the Reclamation of Islamic Artifacts, a group of interest that is essentially Iran's SCP Foundation. Woo! We are not having good relations with them right now, let me tell you. SCP-5004-B has really fucked diplomatic relations between the SCP Foundation and Oriya as of recent. Hashtag Clef for president. Output of the encrypted message. A message confirming the presence of Oriya agents within Ghana to monitor potential anomalous activity. Results. As this was a breach of Oriya agreements with the Global Occult Coalition, this information was leaked to the GOC through embedded Foundation agents. So man, we're doing a little spy subterfuge. Test 54. Footnote. Requested by the Foundation Internal Tribunal Department. Input. Senior researcher Arthur Illingsworth's encrypted hard drive. Output. Illegally procured photos of subordinates, emails blackmailing subordinates, and threats of retaliation if reported to senior personnel. Results. Output was used as evidence in Illingsworth's subsequent trial. Good. Test 76. Footnote. Requested by the British Occult Service. Input. Sir Edward Filey, head of the British Occult Service's Cybersecurity Division. So, the British Occult Service just handed us their Cybersecurity Division head to shove in the box. Output. Information confirming the presence of illegal backdoors to the British Occult Service's internal database. Information also concerned Filey had accepted bribes from hostile groups of interest in exchange for access to the database. Results. Information was reported to the British Occult Service. Method of interrogation was not disclosed. Do not tell the Ethics Committee what we're doing, and we will disregard their opinions. Test 129, the last test we have log of. Footnote. Ordered by Overseer Command. Input. Researcher Ahmed Hussein, believed to be an embedded Oriya agent and the orchestrator of multiple Oriya attacks on Foundation bases within the Middle East. Output. Bank details and passwords for Hussein's computer and email accounts. Results. Subsequent analysis has found researcher Ahmed Hussein to be innocent of all charges. He has been posthumously pardoned. So we just deleted that man. Oops. Oopsie daisy. So yeah, that is SCP-5562. I forget what brought that on, but it was a good one. I hope you enjoyed the lore. Northern Glacier Corporation, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. And hey, it's been a minute. I hope you've been doing well. Grab yourself a tuna tartare on your way past the commissary. Hey, I was walking by 096's door the other day, and it was open, and he wasn't in the cell. It's a he. It's not a he. You said it's a he. It's not a he. It's an it. Please practice proper pronoun parlance protocols at the Foundation. All anomalies are objects, not people. Remember. And it wasn't in the cell. That's something good or bad, Doc? I believe right now researchers have bagged 096 to take it for, quote, walkies. So it will return to its cell soon. Researcher Clover, thank you for your 7 months as a level 1 researcher. And hey, I think it's been a minute for you too. Hope you've been doing well. Hi. Hello. Yeet Boy, thank you for sending sparkles and a gold coin to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they will enjoy the sparkle, as well as use that gold coin for valid doubloon purchases. What about SCP-999? Intern Catnap, what about SCP-999? That's not a full question. I don't know what you're asking. Dr. Sherman, what's your opinion on SCP-049-J? Intern Salted, I am salty about being assaulted by that buffoon's shoe. So my opinion is not very high of that silly doctor thing. Dr. Sherman, are staff relationships allowed at the Foundation? Intern Ryder, yes, SCP Foundation staff members are allowed to date as long as they register with HR their relationship and follow standard protocols. After all, it's not like we get to hang out with civilians, so if we don't let people date within the Foundation, what are we going to do? Introduced some friends to Dr. Spanko today. It had them cackling. Very nice. Very nice. Intern Cool Kid, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Aromatic supremacy? Well, Puppet Boy, I do enjoy nice candles and incense and things like that, so I guess aromatics are a good thing. I guess that's kingly behavior to enjoy aromatics. So yes, good smells are good. Thank you, Darkside Queen, for that well-placed and timed royal crown. It led into my joke very well. First time joining a live stream of yours, kind of nervous. I'm a pretty decent role player, and it's actually kind of a hobby of mine. Well, Intern Cruz, let me tell you, this is a low-pressure facility. For one thing, we always maintain the rule that if someone asks if the SCP Foundation is real, we drop kayfabe completely to make sure people know the SCP Foundation is fake. It is a fan fiction community. It is creative writing, and that is all. We don't want the Slender Man stabbings to happen again because those little kids thought Slender Man was real. Yes, it's very serious business, which is why I put on my serious business glasses when I do so, talking about it. Thank you, Intern Smith, for giving me very important serious business glasses during the subject. But suffice it to say, otherwise, it is all japes, hijinks, and goofs. So feel no pressure hanging out with us. Just make yourself known, tell good jokes, have a good time. That's the most important thing. At the end of the day, I tell this to my dance students at my cover job as a dance instructor. And I also tell it to you guys in the Containment Hazard Assessment Team, i.e. chat. The most important thing is, are you having fun with it? Because if you're not having fun with it, what are you doing? Even the hard work of writing SCPs, of making sure you get your critique and making the best article, you should still be enjoying yourself a little bit. It should still be fun. If it stops being fun, figure out why it's not fun and fix that so it can be fun again. That's what I hope. And so here at the chat, we are here to just have a good time, talk about SCP lore, bring up SCP articles and talk about them, memes and japes, and have a good time. Northern Glacier Corporation, thank you for donating again to say. It's been doing good. Say you just want to making sure that no one has undergone near my redacted, where redacted, right? Because there's a lot of stuff only I and the O5 Council know about. I said nothing. Hey, I didn't hear nothing, man. I didn't hear nothing about nothing. First of all, desk, I do approve. I think this would make a perfect photo for Akinator. If you want to submit this photo to Akinator to get them to change it from the Jeff photo to this, I think that looks pretty good. Furthermore, I can't believe you just two wolves me with this. King Sherm, wolf number 1, and then, dear God, the donut clip. Aye, Donut Sherm strikes again. Lore. Back before I even was a YouTuber, I was a struggling actor. And I was doing commercials. And that was a commercial for the karaoke app known as Shmuel. That app is on my personal YouTube channel. That is not Site42. Because I was using it for sending it in as, resume builder. Hey, I was in this commercial, put me in your next commercial. And so I was in a silly karaoke commercial, and they had me wear the big donut floaty. And the donut floaty was a meme for years. And so it's a silly thing that people like to bring up from time to time. So yes, the two wolves are King Sherm or Donut Sherm. That sounds about right, Desk. Dr. Sherman, do you like kaleidoscopes? Intern Salted, I enjoy pretty colors in all their vibrancy. So yes, kaleidoscopes are cool. This week in SCP, you asked which JAMCON articles we've covered so far. We have covered the first 3 of This Is My JAMCON articles. And what I mean by first 3 is the first place, SCP-9757, second place, SCP-8751, and third place, SCP-8353. The next one we would cover would then be the fourth place winner, SCP-9512, when we cover that. So we're making our way through them, bit by bit. Well, hello there, puppy of interest 42, codename Charlie. Do you require belly rubs at this exact moment? I bet you do. Puppy belly of the lifetime. Puppy of interest 42, codename Charlie, is here for more belly rubbins, some chin scratchies, some behind the ear lovin's, and if you get tall enough, baby, then you get to treat. Whoop, 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 there it is. You did it. You did it. Such a good girl. Such a good girl. I'm sorry, Dr. Sherman. I wrote a 25K fake 001 and posted it an hour before the contest closed. This week on SCP, why would you do that? Abysmal. I better make sure the day that we do that, I have time to read that article. Jeez. You're killing me, Smalls. Killing me, Smalls. But, like, okay, did it do well? Like, maybe not win the contest because you posted so late, but did people like it? I hope for the best. What were you infected with, Doc? Ah, Captain Gilbert, you made it. As a catch-up, what happened is one of the commissary workers accidentally utilized testing samples of SCP-666.5-J, codename the Roaring Flames of Hell, in order as an ingredient for Mama's magical meatloaf. It did not go well. A very, very bad night was had. This dude and his moderator saved my life. Support these people as much as you can, goats, for real. Well, Luke, I do not understand how me and Desk have that much power, but we will attempt to use it responsibly, and we were glad we could be of service to your well-being. I severely hope you're all doing well, and that we're doing something to increase the goodness in your lives, at least somewhat. Remember that time someone used SCP-504 in the commissary? That was bad. Oh, intern Rolov. That was terrible. Because, of course, as we know, the critical tomatoes, the tomatoes that attack you if you tell a bad joke, well, when they were cut into thin slices for the BLTs, shurikens flying across the commissary. It was horrible. Horrible. Intern Kangame, thank you for donating again to say. Plane was a modded Lancaster bomber. Cargo. They shot it down. It was several SCPs. Poor Nathaniel, confused, woke up in D-class attire. We have recruited him to the Foundation for intel gathering. So wait a minute. The CI, Chaos Insurgency, staged a plane crash with Nathaniel aboard, with several SCPs. Be extra cautious, cataloging and containing the anomalies that Nathaniel was carrying. This sounds like a very clear Trojan horse scenario, that one of those anomalies is going to be detrimental to the Foundation. Watch yourself. Haunted Researcher, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a charcuterie board on your way past the commissary. So the sliced tomatoes became sharp. Well, they are rather thinly sliced, and then they fly at a high enough velocity, then yeah, they're still going to cut regardless, unfortunately. Daddy. Intern keyhole. While I am flattered, as an asexual person, I am uninterested. Suffice how many people call me daddy or zaddy or whatever, that's not the vibe. Da, 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 da. Amber, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member, and thank you for making the effort to go through the Ko-Fi, which, as we all know, only takes 3% of your donation as a service fee, whereas YouTube takes a 30% cut of every super chat. So we definitely appreciate you making the effort to go to the Ko-Fi. Grab yourself a nice MLT where the mutton's nice and lean on your way past the commissary. Site 42 staff reduces world suck. Well, we're damn well doing our best in these streets, Amber. Thank you for your vote of confidence. Intern Kangami, thank you for donating again to say he was the pilot. Oh, no, I understand that Nathaniel was the pilot. I'm worried about the Chaos Insurgents throwing some frickin' anomalies our way. Why are they giving us anomalies when their whole thing as a mission is going to try and stop us from containing things because they think that we're bad? Why would they give us anomalies unless it's going to detriment us in some way? That's what I'm saying. Oh, Puppy of Interest 42, are you desperate for attention? Did you bring a toy? Did not bring the toy back. That is going to be a demerit. Intern Grass Type Swag, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. As we were. Haunted Researcher, thank you for donating again to say. Are you not aware that Ko-Fi is pronounced like coffee? Well, if they wanted to be spelled pronounced coffee, then why did they put it with a hyphen in the middle? And why did they spell the fee like fi, like Semper Fi? No. Ko-Fi is well better as a pronunciation. It is a personal preference that I will not be adjusting anytime soon. Intern Kangame, thank you for donating again to say, they took them from the plane. But I thought the Chaos Insurgency staged the crash. Now you've got me all turned around in this scenario. I might need you to reiterate. My OC James, this is the 5th time this week that I end up here. Is there anything that draws multiversal travelers to this place? I mean, I hold great respect for the Foundation, but I have a job. Intern James, first of all, Site 42 sits on a way, capital W, which means that it does have access to dimensional and multiversal travel, which is why we're utilizing a transfer site for anomalies to be sent from one part of the Foundation to the other very quickly. Furthermore, Puppy of Interest 42, that is my toe. Rude girl. The desperation for attention continues. As I was going to say. Yes, intern James. But furthermore, a reminder that this broadcast only goes to SCP Foundation staff members, whether they be civilians in a Broken Masquerade universe, which is the only place where we don't have staff members, but they get the broadcast because I'm the PR for the Foundation in a Broken Masquerade. But other than that, we only broadcast to SCP Foundation staff members. In some universes, D-class or anomalies are given phones by the Foundation for some reason, but we don't break secrecy here at the Foundation, especially on a Site 42 broadcast. That would be against our mission statement. Halo Machinima Films, thank you for gifting 5 Site 42 memberships to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. If you got one of those promotions from Halo Machinima, make sure to thank them for their generosity. Intern Kangame, thank you for donating again to say, they staged the crash to take them from us. Okay, so I think using the phrasing staged is what's confusing me here. Normally, if you stage a crash, that means that you load up the plane, you get it flying, and then you crash it on purpose. It sounds like you're saying they just shot down a plane. What it sounds to me you're saying is that they just shot down a plane, which is not staging a crash. It's causing a crash, but it's not staging. Staging is a different verb there, I believe. Opinion on SCP-1993. Well, off the top of my head, I don't recall that one intern salted, but I'll give it a look and see what I find. Codename Your Leg. A human right leg severed at the angle beginning above the knee and descending to the patella. Examination of the leg has shown the presence of a small tattoo on the exterior side of the ankle depicting a compass with the needle pointing to the southeast. Instances of 1993 have been observed to decay at a normal rate for a severed limb. All humans making visual contact with 1993 will become immediately convinced that SCP-1993 is their leg, amputated from them at some point in the past or relaced with a simulacrum. Affected individuals will have no explanation as to how, when, or under what circumstances their leg was removed, but in no instance has any individual been disabused of the idea once exposed to 1993. All right, so if you look at it, you believe your leg has been removed and then replaced with a fake, and then you'll go crazy and try to cut off your leg and reattach the SCP-1993 leg. So, yeah, it's a pretty standard anomaly. I think it's fine. I got no huge opinions on it, just weird leg. Weird leg. Intern Snell, thank you for sending sparkles to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they enjoy the sparkle sparkle. Intern Kangame, thank you for donating again to say. They pretended to be Russian members amongst 2 other agencies. We were able to receive a damn false flag operation, 2 for 1 near war, and we lost SCPs. This seems to be a highly intricate plan of theirs. Well, what anomalies did we lose in the tussle? Aoki, thank you for sending a gold coin to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure the doubloons will be much appreciated. Oh my gosh. Please, I want to visit the chat again. I am the sweetest pumpkin and they have to acknowledge me. Puppy of Interest 42 really wants to hang out with you guys. Well, how about you just sit here? If we just sit here, will you be okay? You're going to get antsy and run away again. Monster Check, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some teriyaki chicken on your way past the commissary. Hey, doctor, finally back from my mandatory vacation I didn't want to take. Hey, I understand that feeling as well. I enjoy my work very much. That's why the daily stream streak is 1 year and almost 1 month long, because we're having a good time here. Oh, do you like the pen? Do you like the spinning pen? Is it hypnotizing you? Are you going to go to sleep? Haunted Researcher, thank you for your 8 months as a mobile task force captain here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service, as well as the battle you have done to help us win the battle against the White Names. Hey, Dr. Sherman, I found a dimension full of SCP-729! Oh, that's great! Yes, your kisses help a little bit, but only so much. Puppy of Interest 42. What do? Close the dimensional door! Don't let them in! That's what you do, you lock it! You keep them out! Monster Check, thank you for donating again to say. Also, I was sent to capture an elite demon lord named Malak. He has an army. He's from the game Dark Deception, by the way. Really interesting. Okay, well, that's not much of a vacation if you were doing a mission. How'd it go? Did you capture the elite demon lord? Is it in containment? Because that would make me very happy. I like when the anomalies are contained. That's very good. Scared Gamer, thank you for sending 5 stars to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they are very proud to be given a 5-star rating. Okay, now I'll let you down because you're whining. A time check. We are, well, we're at 94 minutes of what was going to be a 60-minute stream, but my energy levels have kind of held up, and the vibes have been pretty good, so I stuck around a little bit longer. So, I think maybe we'll go for the 2-hour mark. 25 minutes doesn't seem like it's out of reach for me. Monster Check, thank you for donating again to say. No, I had my vacation, and now I'm on the mission. Oh, all right, well, it was good to have you back at the site for, what, 10 minutes before you went back out? Sheesh. Monster Check, thank you for donating again to add. Need help. Like I said, I am one being, and this guy has a whole army. Containment advice? All right, so you want advice on capturing the evil demon Lord Malak? Evil demon Lord Malak. Malevolent and powerful demon lord. Ruler of each of the game's nightmares and recurring threat levels from chapter 2 onward. Monsters and mortals, power over souls, mind invasion, shape-shifting. So infinite bullshit powers is what I'm saying. Teleportation. All right. Well, it does seem like you are going to have to utilize some Tartarian class thaumaturgic rituals from the Department of Tactical Theology. Tac Theo should give you some Tartarian class thaumaturgic rituals that will allow you to contain demonic entities. Due to the teleportation especially, you are going to need to seal this demon very thoroughly. Otherwise, it'll just poof right out. But if you can seal the entity, then wouldn't really matter if it had an army, because by the time you're using the kinds of demonic containment procedures that Tac Theo was whipping up for this, you're going to be throwing it into a void where it's locked forever or something like that. And so, yeah, its armies will be left without a leader and they will falter. Intern Snakes, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Protogen, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some waffles on your way past the commissary. What do you do with this money anyway? Doesn't the foundation cover your needs? Also, how many staff identify as furry out of curiosity? Well, intern Protogen, first and foremost, the overseers have been rapidly cutting the budgets as of recently. There are all sorts of budgetary constraints that are causing containment procedures to be much weaker on site. And so your donations do go to, besides keeping the lights on at Site 42 for the power bills, and for feeding the commissary staff who feed us, it's also helping maintain containment procedures here at the Foundation. At least at Site 42. Also, just like much of NASA and IT department jobs, the SCP Foundation has a much larger percentage of furries than standard workplaces. Because when you get the nerds, the freaks, and the geeks, you're going to get the furries as well. Damn, not even the SCP Foundation is hit by the damn gas. Of course not! Do you know how much driving around we have to do moving anomalies from site to site? These gas prices are ridiculous. Intern Kangame, thank you for donating again to say. SCP's lost 570, 207, 66, 35, and 59. Many also remain. Well, I can't wait until 035 talks those idiots into wearing it and solves the problem for us. Sounds great. Once they're all melted by black goo, we'll go reclaim the anomalies. Monster Check, thank you for donating twice again to say. His army at Evil Demon Lord? It's an it. Please practice proper pronoun parlance protocols at the Foundation. It's an it. His army consists of murder monkeys, chef monkeys, and evil child, weeping angels, ducks, clowns, nurses, animatronics, explosive bears. Why does it seem to have monsters from every franchise? Greedy bastard. Just stick to one. Sheesh. Also, apparently, this demon lord is getting his ass handed to him, its ass, by a mortal. Albeit the mortal is using its powers against it. This is confusing. Well, if it's using its powers against it, then use its powers against it. Be that mortal. You could do it. I believe in you. Monster Check, thank you for donating again to say, sorry, vacation kind of made me forget about the pronoun thingy. Well, as long as you continue to practice proper pronouns. If I don't say it from the beginning, I get it wrong. Please practice proper pronoun parlance protocols at the Foundation. So yes, as long as you keep it up from here on, you're good. Dear Dr. Sherman, I would like to inform you that one of your D class touched my chicken nuggies, so you might be missing a D class or two. Please tell me they weren't important. Intern Beecham, actually, this is pretty bad for you. As I just told you, budgetary constraints at Site 42 are pretty rough right now. The overseers are slashing budgets all over the place, which means D-class requisition is having problems as well. And so if you're wasting D-class over some chicken nuggies, congratulations, you're going to replace them. So I severely hope you didn't do what you're inferring you did. Wasting resources is an infraction, and it will be punished thusly. Monster Check, thank you for donating again to say, yeah, my bad. So, anything interesting happened while I was on vacation? I don't know, Containment Hazard Assessment Team. Has anything interesting happened over the last, I wish your chat history told you what the dates of your vacation were. It shows what stream you were at by title, but it doesn't show which one it was. Suffice it to say, since the last time you were here, I'm sure something eventful has happened. Dr. Sherman, may I draw you as an anomaly/experiment? Well, intern Monica, first and foremost, reminder, because the SCP Foundation is a Creative Commons community, let me explain what that means real quick, because this will answer your question. Creative Commons does not mean something is public domain. It does not mean it is free use like everyone thinks it is. That is not what Creative Commons is. What happens is if you are copyrighted something, then you own it. And typically, most laws in most countries, if something is copyrighted, then to use that IP that is owned by somebody else, you must ask their permission. And if they say no, then you can't make your art. You can't make your film or cartoon or something based on that IP. Now, Creative Commons simply says, it's simply a set of rules that you don't have to ask the creator if you could use their copywritten IP. Instead, let's say Dr. Sherman, you want to use Dr. Sherman. All you have to do is you have to make your art, and you have to release your art via the same Creative Commons license that the SCP community uses. You also have to credit the creator of Dr. Sherman, which, funnily enough, is DJ Cactus, but that's neither here nor there. So you have to credit the creator, you have to credit the original source of the work, and you need to that allows you to use it without having to ask permission, as long as you follow the guidelines. You can look at the SCP Wiki's SCP Wiki's licensing guide for the same scenario and follow the rules. So yes, you may. Monster Check, thank you for donating again to say. Vacation lasted about 2 weeks. I hated it. All right, so you were here 2 weeks ago. Well, you can always check the VODs to see if anything interesting happened over the last couple of weeks. I don't recall any crazy events, but perhaps you'll find something. A quick question, Containment Hazard Assessment Team. Froy is saying there's an audio sync issue. However, I have also realized that it is always Froy who says that there's an audio sync issue. Are my lips and my sounds happening simultaneously to everybody else? Does everybody else have an audio issue? Desk says there is, and Creepypasta. Okay, so it's not just Froy. Good to know. It's been Froy so often that I did not know if it was just Froy's tech or something. Good to know. Intern Kangame, thank you for donating again to say. Yeah, events like someone putting that damn thing in my office over your vacation. That's the worst. I'm so sorry that happened to you. That is terrible. Nobody likes that. As a time check, Site 42 staff, we are currently 15 minutes from the end of stream. 15 minutes from the end of stream. Monster Check, thank you for donating again to say, gonna go fight the demon. If I ain't back in 10, send backup. Also, yes, there's an audio sync issue. Well, thank you for confirming, everyone. Is the mutant tornado an SCP, the tornado with eyes? If it's not, can I make it a SCP? Intern Jax, I have no idea what you're talking about. I've never heard of a mutant tornado with eyes. Where are you getting this information from? Is this some sort of internet meme or something? Mutant tornado. Okay, this seems to be some sort of analog horror thing. And so the answer is no. Because if it was an SCP, it would be anomalous, which a tornado with eyes is anomalous. It would also be on the SCP Wiki, which this is not. And it would be on the SCP Wiki as an SCP document. Therefore, it's not 2 out of the 3 qualifications to be an SCP. Would the FNAF universe be classified an SCP? Well, again, intern Silverwolf. Same qualifications. Is it anomalous? Very. Is it on the SCP Wiki? No. Is it an SCP on the SCP Wiki? Double no. So, no, not an SCP. Now, that said, I am going to check if Five Nights at Freddy's is referenced anywhere on the SCP Wiki, because sometimes pop culture things make their way. Five Nights at Freddy. You're kidding me. One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mentions. While Five Nights at Freddy's is not an SCP article on the SCP Wiki, it is referenced in 10 different pages. Now, some of those are author pages or tales, but it's also mentioned some SCP articles. So, there are 10 different SCP pages that mention Five Nights at Freddy's. So, is it anomalous? Yes. Is it mentioned on the SCP database? Yes. Is it an SCP? No. Monster Check, thank you for donating again to say, well, that was anticlimactic. You said you were going to do that and be back in 10 minutes, or ain't back in 10 minutes, but you accomplished it in 3 minutes? What had happened? How did it go down? Mm-hmm. 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 Hey, what is about SCP-3008? Intern Jeff, what do you mean, what is about SCP-3008? That's not really a question that I can answer. I need you to be more specific. Very excited puppy out there. This time not yelling at me for once. This time it's yelling at someone else. Monster Check, thank you for donating again to say, It, not he. Oh, how quickly we forget. It willingly surrendered? Or are you the evil demon lord Malak, and that's why you forgot about the proper pronoun parlance protocols again? Because you are actually the demon lord Malak in disguise, pretending to be Monster Check. Ha! Saw through your disguise. Sleepless Dragon, thank you for sending sparkles to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. Well, I'm wondering about SCP-3008, like, is it a real thing and is it a real SCP? Well, intern Jeff, first and foremost, no SCPs are real at all, because it's all a creative writing fan fiction website. All SCPs are fake. We don't pretend to be real. If someone asks if we're real, then we drop our kayfabe and we say, no, it's just for funsies. Because we don't want any people believing it's real and then stabbing their friends over it like the Slenderman stabbings. Furthermore, while SCP-3008 is an actual SCP on the SCP Wiki, that is about as real as it gets, as there is an SCP document. Monster Check, thank you for donating again to say, right, my bad, and crazy theory, but no. But no? Oh, we're watching. We're keeping an eye. We'll confirm. Would the SCP games be classified as a threat level for the SCP Foundation? Well, intern Silver Wolf, in the pataphysical level where we exist, games that regard the SCP Foundation are a fine way to provide disinformation, making people think that, oh, it's just a game, it's all fake. That way they don't actually look for what we're doing. Disinformation campaigns are very important to Foundation work. Dr. Sherman, I have angered SCP-3671. What should I do? Isn't that body horror? No, that's not. That's a different anomaly. A very angry box of cereal. Object class safe. Stored in a labeled shelf. Nope. Following an incident, to be stored in a medium security storage locker. It is a standard side generic brand cereal box. Each day at 6:30 a.m. local time, a new plastic box of objects will manifest inside, replacing the previous bag and its contents if they have not been removed. Its packaging will also change to match the new contents. So, as of April 2nd, 2018, it seems you do not need to be afraid of the cereal box. It does not seem like it has the capability of following through on its threats. So breathe easy. Monster Check, thank you for donating again to say, watch me all you want, I don't care. And why is my next question about Garfield? That thing is pretty much a god, if I remember correctly. Well, it's hard to tell with all the Garfield anomalies because I don't know if you've seen what the internet did to Garfield. And that doesn't even include the SCP Garfields, such as the Garfield mascot costume that beats the hell out of Jim Davis, creator of Garfield, if the Garfield franchise is doing poorly. Or the fact that Jim Davis, creator of Garfield, is the second coming of Jesus Christ. SCP-7966 for reference. So, yeah, you gotta, if you're going after Garfield, if I remember correctly, that's a pretty much a outsider entity. So you're gonna have a rough time. To quote a certain ketchup-loving skeleton, you're going to have a bad time. He's what? Yes, Creepy Pasta George Harrison. Do you not know about SCP-7966? Yeah, of all of the SCP-GZI, Jim Davis, creator of Garfield, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Davis. SCP-7966 is the birth of Jim Davis, creator of Garfield comic strip series. According to all testing methods devised by the Department of Tactical Theology, this event is both ontologically and theologically identical to the second coming of Jesus Christ. And so, yes, among the 6 GZI that we have currently in containment, this is the newest documented GZI. Monster Chick, thank you for donating in to say, not the SCP one, the actual Gorefield. Oh, I know. That's why I said it's an outsider type entity. Because it's all horrifying and big and tentacly and weird. So, good luck with that. That's some Scarlet King level bullshit you're about to go through. I don't envy you. Hello, Mr.'s SCP guy. Well, there's just one of me, Mr. SCP guy. There's not misters here. I'm not a little mister. Or whatever the Gamers Against Weed called their little misters. Now you've got me spitballing. The, Mr. SCP guy from Little Misters by Dr. Wondertainment. It'd be a horrifying article. Monster Check, thank you for donating again to say, well, any help? No, this is your mission. This is your mission. You gotta do your research. You gotta go get it. We believe in you. Especially if you happen to be an evil demon lord Malak in disguise, then it'd be super easy for you. Will the SCP Foundation build a lunar base, or are they not allowed to do that? Interns Tech Studios. You're assuming that the SCP Foundation doesn't already have multiple lunar bases, which we do. If we did not have multiple lunar bases, we would not be able to chase down and investigate and interview SCP-2686, the Moon Wizard. The wizard who lives on the moon and is powered by the moon above. We also would not be able to investigate the Taco Bell on the moon, SCP-4845, the fully functional Taco Bell on the moon. Couldn't investigate that if we didn't have a moon base or multiple moon bases. Monster Check, thank you for donating again to say, I can't do nothing, Site Director Sherman. I'm strong, I ain't that strong. Well, give it to your superior officer who gave you the orders to go after such a thing. What did they expect you to do about it? All lunar bases have their powers cut due to budget. Damn it, overseers! These budget cuts are killing us, Smalls. Moon Taco Bell, gonna do some research. Oh yeah, intern Quentin, that is SCP-4845. You can check out its documentation. You can see it from orbit. It is codename Great Food, No Atmosphere, or tacos that are literally out of this world. Object class safe. It is a Taco Bell on the moon. Intern Kangame, thank you for donating in to say, is there any way to contact you in spare time? Gmail? Well, it depends on what you are trying to contact me about. We do have a business email for Site 42 Business, as when I'm talking to sponsors or different teams making SCP projects and the like. What are you trying to reach out to me about, Intern Kangame? That would determine the best way to reach out. Monster Check, thank you for donating twice to say, "You're my superior officer." I don't know, man. Well, I'm one of your superior officers, but I am not the one who told you to go after Gorefield. Obviously, I want you to ask the superior officer who gave you that order, because I didn't give you that order. Do you work for SCP? You tell me, Intern Rodrigo. You tell me. Intern Reaper, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Get yourself a macchiato on your way past the commissary. Monster, I'm grabbing my double barrel and frags. Well, it sounds like Monster Check, at least you're getting some backup. That could be helpful. Intern Kangame, thank you for donating again to say, SCP's lore vid ideas, I have some stuff I want to do. Well, if you want to send me something to my business email saying these are the kind of projects that I want to make and can you give me any advice, that would be something I can respond to at the Site 42 business email. I just warn you, I am pretty busy, so I might not get back to you immediately. And Site 42 staff. Oh, wait a minute. Dr. Sherman, got any good recommendations for looking for the format of testing logs for articles on the wiki? I've done some looking so far, but I want to make sure I do a good log. So, Intern Sprite, if you want to do testing logs on the database, what you would do is you would pick the testing log format that you find the most aesthetically pleasing from the articles that have testing logs. So, for instance, the SCP-682 termination log format is one format of testing logs. I am also quite partial to the SCP-3108 testing logs. The testing log format of SCP-3108, codename the Nerfing Gun. I like the individual box test logs myself. And so pick the testing log that you find the most aesthetically pleasing for your documentation and roll with it. Intern Monster Check, thank you for donating again to say, "Where's Ricky?" Also, thank you so much for the help, Red. Well, which Ricky are you talking about? Rick? Richard? Which, Intern Snell, thank you for sending a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will enjoy its twinkle. But Site 42 staff, we are currently 4 minutes past the end of stream, and as I told as we do as a tradition, I tell you guys my favorite SCPs at the end of stream. But I'm not going to tell you that my favorite SCPs are the ones I personally wrote. That would be cheating, sheer narcissism, in fact. But if you want to read the SCPs I wrote myself, you can go to the Sherm's author page in Site 42 Hub on the SCP database. There you can read the SCPs I wrote, as well as contributed some voice lines or sound effects too. And while you're on my author page, one tab over, you'll find a list of links. Links that people are quite curious about. They ask about them in the chat, but then they're just not determined enough to find them. But I believe in you, Containment Hazard Assessment Team. I believe you will be determined enough to find those links. And when you do, you'll be able to find those links as well as links to become a Patreon patron or YouTube channel member to support us monthly. You can do a Ko-Fi or a YouTube Super Chat to donate to us one at a time. Or, most importantly, for the next 8 days, you can get the Dr. Sherman Site Director Edition plushie to support the channel. We have 8 days later, or 8 days left to get this before it is gone forever. If you don't get it now, you'll never be able to get this again. However you choose to donate or purchase merch to support Site 42, we greatly appreciate your generosity in doing so. But if you are broke, gang, and you cannot afford to donate or buy merch, do not fret. We know starving artists. SCP is an arts community after all. And you can still help us out by liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, chatting, clipping, doing edits, sharing everything around, doing memes for Site 42, and for the other SCP projects we support. The SCP Wiki with its authors and artists, the SCP filmmakers, animators, game makers, merch makers, podcasters. When you do all of those YouTube and engagement and social media things to boost our profile and their profile, then we get more virality, we get more people into Mobile Task Force Sci 42, codenamed the Signal Boosters. And that's how we're able to get bigger and better SCP films and games, because the corporations will not touch a Creative Commons property, so we're going to have to do it ourselves. And I thank you for your help in making that happen. Now, without further ado, my favorite SCPs in no particular order are SCP-3999, SCP-3043, SCP-008-J, SCP-Spooky-J, SCP-5031, SCP-5175, SCP-5320, and SCP-8980. Content warning on that last one, it's a bit of a rough read. Speed round 3999-3043-008-J, Spooky-J, 5031, my speed round got distracted because low-key, thank you for jumping into the very last minute of stream with an incredibly generous donation. Thank you for your intense generosity at the literal last minutes of stream. And so, here's what I want you to do in return for your generosity, as well as being a member, low-key. Listen, I was sick yesterday because of what happened in the commissary. Because the Mama's Magical Meatloaf was made with leftover testing samples of SCP 666.5-J, codenamed the Roaring Flames of Hell. Now, they weren't supposed to be used for the commissary staff. The commissary staff member who made that mistake has been sacked. But there is still a sample of that meatloaf. Now, I obviously do not want you to eat the meatloaf. That would be terrible. It would be the worst thing you ever had. It's food poisoning to the umpteenth power. But what I want you to do is I want you to take a sample of that meatloaf, a serving size sample, and I want you to take it over to SCP 5883, codename The Flip Side, or colloquially known as Meanwhile in Australia. I want you to Meanwhile in Australia, the Mama's Magical Meatloaf. And that is going to be your delightful meal in return of your generosity. I can't even imagine how good that's going to be. And so thank you for your generosity. Good luck. The Cure. Honestly, Creepypasta George Harrison, it probably cures everything better than SCP-049. I mean, it has to, because SCP-049's cure is stupid and kills you and makes you a zombie. So it's going to be much better than that cure. And you said, I'm a starving artist, or Riser Director K is. He locked himself in his office and is crying because someone unfiled all the files, sent help. Oh! No, you absolute bastard. How dare you unfile the files? We are a family born of bureaucracy here at the Foundation. You recognize the reference, and there is no, you can't mess with our filing. All right, you take 2 samples of the meatloaf, and you feed them the normal meatloaf. You get the Meanwhile in Australia meatloaf, but they get the regular meatloaf. Ugh. Monster Check, thank you for donating twice again to say, Richard the old guy. Well, which Richard? All of our Richards are old here. And so, Red, what's the gameplay against Gorefield? Good luck, Reaper and Gorefield, to do it. Monster Check, who unfiled the files? I wish someone were watching the Watchmen so we could know who unfiled the files. And researcher Vale Delir, welcome to level 1 researchership here at Site 42. Congratulations on your promotion. Thank you for your newly minted membership and service. Oh, Richard, Benjamin Franklin's magical wish granting penis. Got it. Oh, that's the Richard who gave Monster Check the mission. Well, that makes sense, because Benjamin Franklin's magical wish granting penis is in fact a dick. So it would give you an impossible task like that. I didn't know Benjamin Franklin's magical wish granting penis was sentient and could talk. Although it is a wish granting penis, so I do imagine someone just could have wished upon the wish granting penis to grant the wish granting penis the ability to talk. This is very upsetting. And we wouldn't be going through it if it weren't for you, low-key. So yes, as you said, I single-handedly extended stream, and look where you've brought us. Look where you've brought us. All the way back to poor Richard, Benjamin Franklin's magical wish-granting penis. I hope you're happy with yourself. For those of you who are unfamiliar, SCP-3313 is literally Benjamin Franklin's magical wish-granting penis. This is not a joke. This is not a jape or a hijink. This is legitimately a magic severed penis that grants wishes. All right, Site 42 staff. Wait, Monster Check, thank you for doing it again to say, yeah, him. I can't believe you're taking orders from such a dick. Honestly, find a better SO. Vale Delir, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as your newly minted membership. Grab yourself a quiche on your way past the commissary. My research budget is late. The unfiled files! Yeah, the unfiled files have fricked everything up. It's going to take all night for us to redo this. The author of Benjamin Franklin's magical wish-granting penis is Dr. Sumerian. Yep. And intern Biggie, Dr. Sumerian is him, to be sure. I don't have to rub it like a genie's lamp, do I? Severed penis of Benjamin Franklin. No biological support system, but it appears resistant to damage and decay. When in physical contact with any individual, it provides that individual with reality-altering capabilities roughly analogous to that of a Class 2 reality-altering entity. So no, you don't have to rub it, you just have to hold it. Monster Check, thank you for donating again to say, nice joke, Lamau, vacation has caused this stuff. Vacation, all I ever wanted. Vacation had to get away. Indeed. So, Site 42 staff, this has been another Office Hours with Dr. Sherman, a ginger ale break to be exact. A subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site 42. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. Be safe, be well. Mark yourself safe on social media from Benjamin Franklin's magical wish-granting penis, SCP-3313. And I will see you all in the next... Wait, what? Sumerian is here. Objection! And Sumerian responds, hold it! I'm trying to log off the goddamn stream. We are 35 minutes over stream. You're all holding me hostage. Hold it. I barely know it. Damn it, Sumerian. Oh, that's a good one. Good to see you, Sim. Hope you're doing well. You bastard. Also, because you're actually here, now not only am I joking about the previous joke about Benjamin Franklin's magical wish-granting penis, but also in my head repeatedly, all I keep saying in my head is, my anaconda don't. My anaconda don't. And of course, Sumerian knows what I'm talking about. But now I need to tell everyone what I'm talking about there. Sumerian, which number is that anomaly? I'm looking it up, but if you can tell me it off the bat while I'm trying to figure it out. Yes, there we go. SCP-649-2568-J. SCP-649-2568-J. Codename Technicolor Geography. It is 649-2568. That number will become pertinent soon. Object Class Keter. This snake is in containment. This anaconda is in containment. And if you tell it anything about a physical landmass outside of containment, it can reshape it. And it will always turn it into some highly elevated, flat, plateau-like structures. And when we interviewed the snake to ask why does it do that? Hello. In your own words, describe yourself. Well, I like big buttes and I cannot lie. To pull off the last line as a pun like this, it's important to keep your article short enough that you're not laboring the point to get to the pun. This is what Sumerian masters in his writing very often, is you keep it short enough that you're not belaboring the point before you end it on a pun tagline. Also, this is the numbers to dial Mix-a-Lot. Dial SCP Mix-a-Lot and kick those nasty thoughts. Baby got back. Good, I had already upvoted. I'm sure I did. Okay. I have said all of my goodbyes. Damn it, intern Kangame. Thank you for donating again to say Happy Cinco de Mayo. Hat dance music. You know, if I were still not recovering from yesterday's events, I would probably go salsa dancing to celebrate. But tonight, I'm going to bed. And so be safe, be well, Site 42 staff. And as always, secure, contain, protect. I'll see you in the next video or stream. Well, you can't tell by the way I use my walk. I'm a woman's man, no time to talk. Music loud, women won't be kicked around. Since I was born, and that was alright. It's okay. You may look the other way, but we can try to understand the New York Times effect on man. Whether your brother, whether your mother, you'll be staying alive, staying alive. Feel the city breaking and everybody shaking, and we're staying alive, staying alive. Ah, 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 staying alive, staying alive. Ah, 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 staying alive. I was doing good, but that's a long note. Woof. Okay. Be safe, be well. Staying alive, the Bee Gees. You all know it. You all love it. Especially when Bigfoot dances it while you're being held captive with your father and or son in a car on a camping trip. See you in the next stream. Goodbye, goodbye.